Hello YouTube, this is a review for the Fm-646 Walmart at I-45 on the northbound side, located in League City, Texas. I used to be an Uber driver, and I spent a few days working in that area parking at Walmart last year. And while I was there, I would sit in my car in a parking space far out away from the store, and occasionally I would go in to make a purchase. One day I was sitting out there in the middle of the afternoon in my car. I had other occupants with me, and a League City police cruiser circled very close to my car, and the cop leaned in and gave me a suspicious look. And then he pulled away and he went to park roughly 100 feet away from my car to wait for other cruisers to show up. Now keep in mind, I hadn't done anything wrong. I hadn't committed any crimes. I wasn't drinking or doing drugs or behaving suspiciously. I was sitting on private property. I was not on the right of way. A few minutes later, two other cruisers show up, and they're exchanging information. They're talking to each other through their open windows. And I'm wondering if this has anything to do with my presence. So I pull out of the parking lot and proceed down the feeder road, and I'm not on Interstate 45 North yet, and suddenly one of the cruisers is behind me and lights me up. I pull off into a shopping center area and circle into a barbecue parking lot so that we won't be on the right of way, to prevent the officer or his cruiser from being struck by oncoming traffic or any of the traffic behind us. I didn't want him to be getting out of his cruiser in busy traffic conditions. I was thinking of his safety. The officer entered an aggressive line of questioning, and he wanted to figure out why we were out there. And I told him I'm an Uber driver, and I have receipts for my purchases in the store, and I have invoices for all of my recent deliveries locally in that area, because it's a good market area. And he says, well, you're way outside of your area where you legally reside. And I said, is there a problem with doing business in the same state anywhere with Uber when you're an Uber contractor? Do you have to have permission to work? It wasn't a special type of job where you have to have a CDL or any kind of certifications. It was just him giving me a hard time. I said, look, you can clearly see I'm logged into the app. You can see that I've been making deliveries, and I've been making deliveries for a long time. This isn't like a new job for me. And he asked me if I had any weapons in the vehicle. I said yes. I have protection here. Do you have any idea how dangerous that my job is? And then he wanted to search the car. And I initially refused. I said, look, what do you want to search the car for? I'm, not arguing with you here, but you're not going to find anything. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't have anything illegal or contraband inside the vehicle. And he pushed. He insisted on this illegal search that he had no probable cause or justification for. And I got out reluctantly, and he immediately put his hands on me and pulled me over to one of the cruisers. Another officer stepped over and instructed my children to get out of the car and began questioning them as to who they were, what their names were, dates of birth, address, what we were doing out there. And I didn't give them permission to question my children. I didn't give them permission to separate me from my children. What they did was unconstitutional, it was illegal, it was harassment, and it was profiling. The justification that he gave me for stopping my vehicle and for the search was that my front plate was missing. And that was because my front fender had been torn from the car in a recent car accident that I'd had. You know, it was not recent, like that year, but in recent years, somebody ran into the front of the car. And soon after that, I ordered replacement license plates, of course, but it's not the point. The guy dropped my pants, he patted me down, and he dropped my pants in public. And I recorded the entire thing on body camera footage with a police grade body camera. It's a Cam Pro camera. And my eldest recorded as well. But it was entirely unjustified. It was unfounded search, illegal search. And the guy ended up letting me off with a warning, but not before forcing the search and having a total of 4 officers and 3 different cruisers respond to this call. It was excessive. They didn't need to touch me. They didn't need to search my car. They exposed me in public view in front of a restaurant, in front of my children, inappropriately. And I ended up contacting Internal Affairs and requesting a form from them to get more information about who made the call and figure out exactly what was said, because it was a huge police overreach. And I don't want this to continue to happen to other people. I left a review for the store there at 646 and Interstate 45, and another customer who had purchased a watch in the store after my initial time shopping there and visiting that location. That store sent the police after another customer, and he purchased a wristwatch and had a receipt for it, and they sent the police to his car to identify him and get his driver's license information. It was ridiculous, as the customer described it. You know, he didn't want to shop there anymore. And I've put a moratorium on shopping at this store and the Friendswood Walmart off of Interstate 45 South for the same reason. And I'll leave a review for that store here shortly. But they've lost our business and the business of our relatives and our friends forever, because people were shocked when they heard exactly what we had experienced, given that I hadn't done anything at all and I wasn't behaving suspiciously.